For this is what I can clearly now pretend in the fire that burns inside my lungs, through a desiccated pang of guilt, man and angel, child and deity, freezing inside the blue flames for an eternity, for choosing from a shortened list a solitary section, abiding justly choices that we surely never had, and yet through the brimstone, ashes, and sulphuric fume, he may still shine a smile towards you, for he, with shame and pity, is doing that which you cannot ever do, to take the fall where you have failed, for it is true that you do not remain as passive, for those who fell defied the notions of your tales, and when he resurrects into a heaven where all promises lie detained, I hope that he confronts your aging sentences with the same olden question every being seems to ask. Where were you during the hours when we needed you to simply reappear? You were not here for us, so scurry, scat, make haste, for our fate no longer lingers in our hopes for severance, and our oath now lies in passing, judging your credentials at command, and we all ask if you know us all by our name, even if we never had convened. And so why pretend you saved our souls, if you know how it all ends? For there is no conclusion to this repercussion, just a period of the embellishments of a blackened page. I have no will to cry for you tomorrow, no strength to grow or age, living from the feedings of your treason, and I now fear there is no escape from the calendars that scripted my passing. And I, like he who died before me, I will walk aside the same lone road, yearning for an end of our days and searching for an absolution, simple reasons to justify it all within the text that was once spoken with the perversion that explains the callousness of your scriptures and defines the definition for us all. Was this supposed to happen? Were we supposed to fancy you for destroying he who brought us the gift that bore the fruits of our so valued tenderness? It seems you have forgotten, or chosen to forgive and thus forget. For everything you have created has starved its expectations for one feeling they can handle, as it clenches reassurance without the fevers of regret. And as those who clipped our child's wings and spat depravity upon you, those that chastised our beloved Savior with hands compelled by riddles with no clues, they make you pay forever and unending as you befall from another disappointment that clutches your amendments with a fist of ambivalence, a fist that shall be forever self-important, smearing our anointed entrails under a sky that will never see the ruse behind deception in the clear, in an endless waltz under a moon where laws will crack and break, for in our anguish you still hold into a vestal feeling of a certain power that none can ever take. The felicity of our order shall be ruined under the silhouette of our own self-control, and so forth the mountains of our coffins shall impend within perdition for every one who you have stimulated with the modesty of predetermined woes. Yes, I do suppose you rather look the other way, for we glide as those who fly no more in the escapades of unrest, into a sea of sacrificial blood and vomit, where he who embraced you with his cross, dispelled upon a ruined altar, where his purposed psalm had violated the emancipated laws. Are we everlasting? I believe it is time that you implore the reasons for the movement you have sanctioned in our dismantled course. Therefore, desire such as this should never dare to bend away from what already has been done, for our holiest foundations were broken with the tremors that reverberated from the basins of perdition's mountains, where he stated that the deed had finally been done, and so our deepest wounds will never heal our gravest reservations, never mend the tears that divide us from those who fell with concern. Our depression will restore to health the contusions that your hopelessness has brought, and I, Omega, I, with an uncanny crown upon my thorn, will be mother of a dying wish upon an ocean of thoughts that never drown. Will I live forever? Ha! Alas, I know I will die with each dawdling passive day, and I will trek alone in searching for the place my son called his home, as a pilgrim in this valley where the memories never gray, or gently fade away into the mist of disarray. And although I see no future and walk legless on this land of misery, even if I suffer alone with no one there to hold my hands of amnesty, throughout the pain and tears I held deep back inside, I will never forget the simple fact that I stand above the resolution you appointed with the muses at my side. Oh, I am solitary itself, and I will prove that I, like he, can conquer time, for eternal silver silence will scream whispers at my crucial peak, in a storm that the nihilist will utter not within a roar, but a whimper wailed in anguish with those who saw what we here tell, and with sadness we will remember not the purpose of our ills. Moreover, under the pains of it all, we will drown just like her, the earthen body that vomited this ambitious carnage we were meant to behold, and I, the mother that laid mute and ebbed when you blessed me with sovereignty. See the ambition of persistence derail with each fallen tear that slithers from the cries of those whose whispers blend into the howling winds of fear. As they stand beside me, sobbing for what is written and revealed, and I close my eyes, still knowing that my fortunes have no rivalry in this epic that we simply cannot share. And what of us, O Father of disgust? What of us? How are we to understand the mysteries that have shown no meaning? Do you have no respect for those that bother to question why? Why are we involved in this great appointed story after you had already left our common side? I do not belong here. No longer can I do what you have asked of me. And so I say, do something else within a moment where I will never be. For you and I are nothing to each other. This grand device of life, I have lived with the affliction that appeased the thoughts that I conceived. Yes, you two are giants upon centuries, where scavengers and mice stood searching for the roots of their first treacheries. But God, I believe that you are not. Perhaps a devil to my cause, a bringer of existence to the feelings where I am the omega caretaker, your anxieties, but zeals upon a poignant reflection that you no longer cast, depressing every smile within the heavy years that men, like those who loved and lost, remain alive and somewhat lucid, yet naked and closer to regressing from the future that awaits. I choose to be alone, for I feel no dread, for I fear my home, my life, my moment. I fear this fear and fear, and for this I cry unto dead oceans, shedding not one single forceful tear of apathy. Mourning with disciples, my son bears no crown, and it is dark inside the ruin where the big bright sun dispels no light, and my world no longer turns in circuit with the principalities of law. Oh, little did I know that I would lose my plotted path, and I imagined much expectancy from you to bend the curve of regulation that lie hidden in your veneration for past yesterdays. As revelation we both seldom here forget, for I sit singing in song and lyric with blasphemous hymn and deep regret, as you watch me from a distance, curious to see my awkward end. However, forever are my movements painted with the devil's ink within your pens.